almost done with the class. Hope you're all having a good summer break. I am actually working on the first 3 questions for this discussion. In the first question, slides 4, 5, 6, 7, and 25 show data from the 2017 Kaiser study. What stood out most to you, and can you infer any meaning from the data that is not explicitly stated? So, I said that one thing that I see so often, which was stated on slide 6, is the lack of emphasis our American healthcare system puts into preventative health measures. And that was like a direct reflection, as they mentioned that only 1 in 5 Americans were prioritizing that. And, I've seen this a lot because, my bachelor's degree I received in public health education, and I would, hear it a lot, that Americans really need to work on their preventative health, and it's something that's, been instilled in me personally, but I don't see it, as a huge factor in our society, something that we value. And that's just my personal opinion. Let me tell you a little background with that. When I did graduate, it was very hard for me to find a job, in the public health, healthcare setting. And I think that was a direct reflection of, rationing of healthcare services. Because, there was just nothing available. I couldn't find work. It also shows, as Americans are focused on treating disease rather than preventing it. And this is also a reflection of how Americans, one of the top 10 reasons Americans are dying right now is due to heart disease and obesity, which are chronic healthcare diseases, and a lot of that is preventable. And if we did focus more on preventative health measures, we would probably see a decrease in that is one of the top reasons for Americans dying. So just goes to show kind of the value of public health in our healthcare system. And also on number 2, slide 13 defines some complex bioethical considerations and legal issues. Have you encountered these in direct practice? So slide 13, one of the things they mentioned was, advanced directives, end-of-life care. And personally, I have not encountered this in my work, but I have encountered this in my actual personal life, when my aunt got really sick. And our family was forced with making a decision for, ending her life-preserving measures for her. And, it was very painful, very hard to make. And, I think this is why it is such a complex decision and complex process for social workers, because it's something that probably shouldn't be taken lightly, because it's really hard to make that decision, and even asking families to make that decision. And number 3, how have cultural views on death and dying come up in your personal/professional experiences? So, something that really resonated with me was how they reflected on slide 4, cultural views, with the Hispanic and, white and black communities. And I definitely have to agree that I've noticed that in my personal life, especially, because I identify as Caucasian, and, I see that death is hard to talk about. It's hard for me to even talk about it right now. It's really hard in my family. And, there's a lot of similarities. My family members seem to just shift in their seats uncomfortably when the topic of death is mentioned. And my father in particular seems to get, really disturbed and will forcefully change the subject to, avoid the topic altogether. And it definitely does show. So it's really interesting to see, the different lens with different cultures and how they talk about death. That was something new that I learned this week. Alrighty, well, see you guys soon. Looking forward to seeing all your guys' material this week.